Alright, time for another very important lecture. When creating a dashboard, every metric and visual element should directly align with the dashboard's purpose. And this is very similar to formatting a chart. You want to make sure that you only include things that are actively adding value to the end user. So step 1, you need to identify the right metrics to include. I guarantee that there will come a time when you are just tempted to include everything. I mean, if you just show all the data, then they can just find what they were looking for, right? But not quite, because every metric that you include adds noise. So the more metrics that you have, the less your end user will understand them all. Besides, remember that you've already identified their needs when defining the purpose, so you can use them to identify the relevant metrics. And to do this, you can ask yourself things like, which metrics and KPIs can be used to measure the desired business outcomes, and what level of detail is appropriate for each metric based on the audience and the dashboard purpose. Now, after you define the right metrics, the next step is to choose an effective visual for each metric. And as you now know, this is going to depend on the type of data that you're working with and what it is that you are trying to communicate. And finally, step 3, you need to determine the filters and interactivity required. So will users need to see specific filtered views, or do they maybe need to drill up or down to different levels of detail and granularity? Now, this may be something that the users ask for directly, or that is pretty intuitive, but if that's not the case, then a good rule of thumb that I follow is that if there is a field or a dimension that you want to use to break down all or most of the metrics in your dashboard, then it's best to include that field as a filter instead of adding all the different views and combinations of that field to your dashboard. Now, these are all things that you should try to establish before building your dashboard, but it is important to call out that this is typically an evolving, iterative process, and chances are that you won't come up with an exhaustive set of filters, metrics, and visuals off the top of your head. The important thing is, though, that you always keep the dashboard's purpose in mind, and that the metrics, visuals, and filters that you do eventually include directly align with that purpose.